Lady talking sports. Did I just see this correctly? Ugh, I'll tell you, if you're a Jet fan, this has to give you what we call in Yiddish agita. There was a report from Pro Football Talk on Monday that the Jets have received offers for Wilson, but Woody, the fucking dipshit Johnson, has been the one stopping the trade. He said it's not true. I didn't nix them. If it was nixed, it would be Joe that nixed it. Really? Oh, no, no, no. I love him. I love the kid. Love his mother. We date the same age girls. We both like teenagers. Jesus fucking Christ. What's up, Kev? So yeah, he said if we don't trade him, we're going to keep him. So they're not going to get rid of him. Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Jets fans, all the shit you put up with, and this happens. I mean, how much more can you take? How much more? How much more, Rob, can they take? We're not gonna release him. Are you fucking kidding me? What does he bring to the team? Nothing. Nothing. Nothing at all. He fucking sucks. And I feel bad for all my longtime Jet fans, for Josh, for Aaron, for Marco, for Jay, for Broccoli Rob, for Batman, for Bumbles. We're not going to release him. What the fuck is wrong with this team? Why keep him? What does he bring to the table? Absolutely nothing. And he can't do the hip drop anymore. J.J. Watt had it right. Why don't we just play flag football? It's an instinctual sport. You know, what am I going to have to go up to tell a guy? Well, you know what? Sometimes you clobber a guy puts his head down. You're coming in to hit him in the chest. He puts his head down and tell him with the helmet. What are you going to do here? I'm sorry, I'm coming in to tackle you. Let me slow down a little bit. Let me tell you what's going to happen. Might as well just two-hand touch him. You're taking away everything, the hip drop. Because Andrews got his leg broken last year, and they got to get rid of that? Yeah. Yeah, there are plenty of teams that got to their third-string quarterback this year. Can you imagine how nuts Jets fans would be if Wilson is starting even one game? Yeah, that's the thing, too. Listen, the Browns had 4 quarterbacks start multiple games last year. First time ever that happened, a team went to the playoffs. And Joe Flacco became somebody that you freaking had and you wanted to do something with. So I just feel, if Jet fans, I feel like you guys, this is just too fucking much. It's like enough already. It's too much. It's just too much. Woody Johnson. You know, I mean, you're supposed to have a stacked team this year, and you're going to keep Zach Wilson, that toxic. He's toxic. I mean, just a toxic competitive nature, just in that respect, that he's a guy who sucks. So I don't want a guy who sucks around my team. I don't want him even seeing the field at all. What's up there, Saul? Yeah, injuries out of football, and it's a contact. Yeah, yeah, exactly. They will never be able to make this a non-contact sport. You can't touch the quarterback. You can't hit the receiver, the defenseless receiver. A guy blocking, he's defenseless. This and that. It's called blocking. What if the defenseless guy becomes, and it's a shitty throw on top of it? Is that the defender's? So he has to decide right then and there. Oh, wait a minute. Let me slow down. And what happens if, it gets tipped and it gets thrown in his hands, the guy runs it back for a touchdown? You got to be able to pop everybody. You got to be able to hit every fucking person. Jesus Christ. And now you can get a third challenge. If you get one of the first 2 right, you get a third challenge. And I read somewhere else, but I haven't seen it since, that if there's offsetting penalties, if one of them's a major penalty, I think it sticks. And the hip drop is a 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down. Great. You can't do a hip drop. You can't. So just, you know what? Just grab them and just pray you don't put all your weight on them when you take them down, because, with the quarterbacks, you can't do that stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Saul said you can't draft a quarterback with dimples. Looks like Backstreet. Well, that's a great one. Yeah, that's a good one. Saul, that was you must have kept that one all day. That one was lingering all day. He was dying to say that one. Yeah. No, that's all right. Yeah, listen, I don't want him around the team. I don't want him around the team at all. He needs to go. And I didn't give props to Aaron yesterday for the Ohtani stuff, because he's the one who's put up the whole tweet that we were talking about yesterday incessantly with Tommy, Saul, Rob of Company of Jace. And he was supposed to do a press conference at 2:45 Pacific time today, but now it is going to be a statement. He's going to read a statement. And Bob Nightingale, a guy I respect said that he thinks the worst it's going to be is a fine. I guess we're going to see how that works out on that front. Yes, 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 yes. We got Sweet 16. I was watching last night, Iowa State, Stanford, the women last night. That was a phone call you made back in the day? Oh, okay. So it's not even new material. It's just old, crusty underwear material. All right. Thanks, Saul. Thanks for that one. Very good. And so Iowa State, Stanford, back and forth, overtime. Now, Cameron Brink is the star in Stanford. She fouls out. And as she's walking off the court, she passes the Iowa State bench. And I can read, you could have read lips. She went, fuck you. Because they said, must have said something. Get off. Yeah, you're done. She went, fuck you. And I was like, all right. And then Stanford ended up winning in overtime. They got a 3-point play. And Tara Vanderveer ran to the court screaming at one of her players, I guess, to try to rile them up and everything. And they won in overtime. I was rooting for Iowa State, to be honest with you. I'm a little tired of the Blue Bloods. I mean, only fifth time ever since 79. All the 1 and 2 seeds moved on to the Sweet 16. My buddy Gumbo Chef got 14 of 16 in the second round, 14 to 16. And all 4 of his Final Four picks are still in play. And I was like, dude, I got 3 or 4 maybe. And yeah, all my teams are out. I took James Madison over Duke. They got blown out. There was a lot of blowouts yesterday. And now the James Madison coach is going to coach at Vanderbilt. Yeah, there was a lot of coaching changes yesterday. All the 3 Big East teams are still in: Marquette, UConn, and Creighton. And Danny Hurley says we want to blow out everybody. We want to blow everybody out. They won by 17 yesterday over Northwestern. They were up by 30. Purdue beat Utah State by 39. I think of the 2 games, yeah, Zach Edey has 54 points, 35 rebounds. Now they beat Grambling State and Utah State, but still 54-35 is really good. All 3 triangle teams are in the Sweet 16 for the first time. I want to get this right because I don't like giving stats and giving shitty stats, and then I look bad. I don't like looking bad. I don't look like at all. I don't. 5th time. Yeah. Yeah. Where did I see this? Oh man, I saw this. Where is it? Houston, ACC. Yeah, they blew them out. Yes. 2015. Only the 3rd time in 3 decades. Duke, UNC. NC State is the only double-digit team in the Sweet 16 at 11. No double digits except them. And usually you have a bunch. So it really went to, if you picked all of them, then I guess you got all of them. Moving on in that respect. Yeah, we're going to see what's going to happen on that. Yeah, Josh, good afternoon. Guilty. I guess he's talking about Ohtani. Yeah. Yeah. I love this. And what did I see? All this stuff popped up at the, I can't get over that they're not going to cut. Woody Johnson says we're not going to release Zach Wilson. Please release him. So someone put, what do you think his prospects are? I said arena and flag football back in Utah. That's my prospects for him. Arena, maybe XFL, but not in the NFL. Kevin O'Connell says Justin Jefferson in the loop on Vikings quarterback plans because they don't have a quarterback. And Gumbo Chef, so Jeffrey Wright, the actor, went to summer camp with Josh Harris, the Washington Commanders owner, when they were 8 years old. He was actually in a bunk with Gabe, which is Josh Harris's brother, when he was 8. And Jeffrey Wright's mother had, well, they were Redskins season tickets from the 70s. 1970, she got tickets, and she passed. And after he passed, he couldn't bring himself to go to games. Well, he started going again to games, season tickets. And he said, well, Rich Eisen said, that was an interview. That's what Gumbo Chef, which I just thought it was cool. People send me cool shit like that. I love it. And yeah, he said, well, what changes? He goes, dude, and Josh Harris basically said, there is so much work that has to be done. I mean, it's from everything. I mean, we have so much work to do. And I can't believe all the work, and Dan Quinn is the guy you came up with, and Cliff Kingsbury is the guys you took to lead the new regime. I just can't. Josh Harris, you're a billionaire owner. You're supposed to be the smart guy. You've owned numerous teams, and you picked Dan Quinn and Cliff Kingsbury to run your team. That's who you pick. So I really feel like they're a bunch of fucking morons. I got to be honest with you. Like Woody Johnson, the Jets fans should be livid with him. We're not going to release him. And supposedly he nixed. No. Joe Douglas. I would take anything for him. Any draft pick is a win. Anything. Look at, they got nothing. You got nothing for Justin Fields. Didn't go for a 1st-round pick. Look at, they even traded freaking the Falcons traded their quarterback to to Arizona. They got for Rondell Moore. They did and I mean, I didn't think he was. I mean, he was a little better, more manageable. Who was the quarterback? Who was the Falcons quarterback 2000 from Cincinnati? I can't remember his name. Somebody help me here. Help me. I think of Diedrich. I'm saying Falcons QB 2023 was not Taylor Heineke. Jesus Christ. Yeah, Desmond Ritter. Desmond Ritter. They got draft picks for him. Somebody, I just think everybody's like, there's so much toxicity and negative energy around Zach Wilson that they're not going to do anything about it. That's what I mean, who knows? You have the Knicks trying to get the 3rd seed tonight in Detroit. Well, that's what Rob is, not Broccoli Rob, Podcast Rob's talked about. And I mean, if you do that, you're going to give yourself a headache. Every game you're going to sit there. Oh, now we're the 3rd seed, and then you go game by game. I can't do that stuff. I got to look at the long. I look at the long picture, and the long picture for me is let's just keep winning, win the games you're supposed to win, and take some games, and hopefully guys come back, get healthy, and you'll see what happens. But we shall see, because I mean, I wonder how healthy now with 10 games left, how healthy Randall's going to be. And how much of a difference he's going to make. You got to work off a lot of rust. Got to get in game shape. OG2 is missed some games, and I feel like that elbow is going to be a problem the rest of the season. I just think he might have to get another surgery on it. I mean, James was telling me the other day, is he going to be the first basketball player to get Tommy John surgery? You never know. Listen, that elbow comes back, irritates it again. It's a sport where you're diving for balls, you're whacking, you're slapping balls away and everything. That doesn't sound good when I say it like that, slapping balls. But you know what I'm talking about. And it's a physical game, and the elbow's already been aggravated again. That I think it's going to be a problem. And it's going to be, can he play with a pain threshold? That's what we're going to have to find out. Can he or can't he? That's the key, man. That's the key. Yeah, Michigan sent me this. Shocker. Penguins blow 4-0 lead. Fall the Avs in overtime. Heartbreaker. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I'll tell you, everybody thinks they're fucking hilarious today. Everybody thinks they're a fucking comedian. Everybody's a comedian today. Ha, 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 ha. So funny. We're so funny today. Now, this is from JPA Football. I don't know if it's 100% true, but owners are voting on potentially expanding the in-season Hard Knocks from featuring one team to featuring an entire division, per Ben Fisher of Sports Business Journal. So we're going to have a whole division in Hard Knocks. So teams don't like people knowing what they're doing. You think they're going to want to have a whole division in Hard Knocks for a whole? I mean, so it's going to go on all season of Hard Knocks. After a while, it's going to get a little nauseating, right? I mean, I would think there's something about doing the beginning of the season before the season starts. But in season, I'll tell you the truth, I didn't watch any of the Dolphins one. Everybody said it was good. I really didn't. I was watching football. It was just, too much It was just. Oh, and I passed the billboard in Times Square today. Fallout, which I never watched the game, but they're making a series on Amazon April 11th that looks awesome. 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 And, Dusty May is now the new coach of Michigan basketball. They have a new NIL Champion Circle NIL collective called March with May. As of Monday afternoon, they've raised $9,195. Should be getting the cream of the crop with that money. $91.95. I'm thinking, what are they going to get? Nothing. Did you see? This was kind of interesting. That Dion for Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter NFL draft. He said he might pull an Eli, and Eli goes, "Love Dion, love him. I love me some Dion." That he'll pull an Eli if he doesn't like the team that drafts his son. That we're not going to them. And he brought up a point, like why do the players have to, why do the teams get to draft the players? Why can't the players have a say in it? And I'll tell you, used to open that can of worms, then it's going to be crazy. Well, I don't want to go play in Chicago. I don't want to. Buffalo's too cold. Well, if they're a good team, that's another thing. But I don't want to play in Cleveland. Oh, I don't want to play for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And then you can't go that way. But I'll tell you, it's going to be interesting when Shedeur goes pro after next year. And he has to have a good year. They're saying he could be the number 1 draft pick next season. I don't know if. Listen, I thought he had some good moments. I thought he had a lot of shitty moments. I don't consider him the most mobile quarterback, and time will tell. But you know what? And Travis Hunter is a baller. And I think, he's an interesting guy. He's like what Rob talked about, that slash, like Cordell Stewart kind of thing going on. Plays offense, defense. You can put him all over the field, play him all the time. I mean, he is a special player. So I'm kind of curious about that. But we're going to see. Going to get interesting. Dion, and that's another thing. What's going to happen with Colorado this year? I mean, they started off the darlings, college football, then got blown out. Lost seven of the last 8? They finished 4-8 last year? And I don't know if they're going to be any better. Big 12's only going to get better this year. We'll see, because you're really judged by wins and losses. I mean, listen, if talking was a game, then he'd be a Hall of Famer, which he is as a football player. But you got to have results on the actual field, in my humble opinion. That's what I'm saying. That. Yeah, and somebody did Rob put this up about global markets programs? So for NFL, is this an old one? So Switzerland, where we're going, it has the markets are the Buccaneers, Seahawks, Pats, Chiefs, and Lions, like all these different countries. Colombia is the Dolphins. France is the Saints. So maybe I should bring my Saints hat when I go over to France. Oh, that was PBM that put that up? Yeah, I was like, It was like another thing, yeah. So Vanderbilt, James Madison, Mark Byington is going to be the next coach at Vanderbilt. Yeah, congrats to him. They got blown out. Women dominate NIL shoe deals. 15 stars signed as a footwear brand faces. There was a great article in ESPN about Caitlin Clark that she plays at a different level. She has trouble trusting teammates. And in the game, they're playing tonight. But in the game against Holy Cross, she was getting pissed off, and her dad actually yelled at her to stop. Like, she yells at teammates, she yells at everybody. She sees things her teammates aren't doing or whatever, and they're not. Someone wasn't cutting or whatever. Or they're not. The trust level is high with her with this team, and they're going to be hounding her all the time. And when she gets to the WNBA, there are going to be women foaming at the mouth waiting to play again. They're going to try to knock her on her ass and get her off her game. And she can play. She's a very good player. She has amazing range. But I just don't know how far they're going to go, because I feel like it's a one-hit wonder with that team, where I think she has some complementary players around her, but really the sun rises and sets with her. I mean, I really feel like she makes everything go. And if she isn't going, then we shall see. It says the Mets game could be rained out on Thursday, which would really suck. And it's only going to be, it was freezing today, guys. Imagine the game was today. You'd be freezing your goddamn ass off. Notre Dame is blowing out Ole Miss to get to the Sweet 16. We got Tennessee, NC State, Syracuse, UConn at 6, Oklahoma, Indiana, West Virginia against Iowa, Creighton, UCLA, Kansas blew out Michigan in overtime. So Michigan lost. Michigan men lost to Michigan State in the Big Ten final on Saturday, 5-4 in overtime, but they made the NCAA tournament, and Utah Gonzaga is the game. And I think it's ridiculous. A 10:30 game, like Barrett Saley was saying, Sunday night, they can't start everything and have the last game at 7. So have 2 games at 12. I mean, really? We need a 10:30 game tonight for the women? I mean, if you're trying to get more eyes on basketball, and I know you have to play Monday, but really, all the games have to be so goddamn late, at 10:30 start? I mean, last night, the Stanford-Iowa State game didn't end until after midnight. I watched the end of the Houston-Texas A&M game. That ended really late. And Houston's in their 4th straight Sweet 16. Yeah, I mean, pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff. Yes. So it was a good article about Caitlin Clark. Phil Mushnick had interesting take on opening day. Used to be Cincinnati. It was the Reds. Reds always opened up baseball. And now you're opening up in South Korea. Next year, you're going to be in Japan. Cubs are playing next year in Japan. And I'm like, you know what? I think it's kind of cool. There's a game 6:00 in the morning, but I kind of like that tradition. And what did Cullum send me? He sent me Todd. Shit, what was his name? Todd, the third baseman from Jersey. I'm blanking on his name. So he said playing with the Mets and Yankees. Mets. It was fun both places, but you felt the ghosts of Yankee Stadium around you. I said two totally different franchises. Yankees, and Rob will get furious at me, but Yankees, it's championship or bust. That's what it is. That's with all my franchises, championship or bust. Definitely with Yankees, definitely with UNC. It's championship or bust. I'm not happy about making. Yeah, great. Hey, made the championship game a couple years ago. I want championships. That's what I remember. I want a championship. Yankees, I want a championship every year. That's what I want. I want World Series. I don't want 100 wins. Fuck that. What is it? Fuck you. Pay me my money. Fuck you. Pay me my money. Totally two different franchises. And he said it was totally. But what's his name? Todd, the former third baseman. What the hell's his name? Rob, you know all the names. You're the guy. Come on, help me out here. What the hell's his name? Todd. Give me nothing today. You guys are slow as shit. Todd Frazier. Thank you. Yeah. And I sent everybody that golf ball. You're like in a plastic bubble, and they tee shot you. And Tommy said he is too much of a slice. I would definitely do that. I would do that yeah. I know you're working. I don't want to hear the working shit. Yeah. Oh my God, my cousin sent me a hilarious thing. Yeah, it was what you see when you go. Thank you. You all know what I'm talking about. Good fellas. He sent me a guy like showing his trip. What he says he's doing, and then he's at the strip club. He just strip club, money's raining and all that stuff, and he's showing everybody pictures, hanging out, having a drink, overlooking the ocean, and then what he's really doing the whole trip is at the strip clubs, and there's naked girls crawling all over him. I thought that was hilarious. I said, dude, that's probably a lot of guys. Hey, like the happy family. And then, they find out that he, severed all the bodies and put them in his freezer. Yeah, we got a little heated yesterday, Rob and I, because, I think that Trevor Bauer should get a second chance. And then he sent me stuff that he videotaped the women where he was having rough sex with them. You know what? Why do you feel the need to videotape the women you're with? Explain that to me. Why do you need to videotape? We were talking about Nixon. Nixon felt the need to videotape, to record everything he did. And eventually it came and bit him in the ass because he recorded every fucking conversation he did. Well, would you think, Trevor Bauer, you really feel you need to do all this stuff? Now, I still feel that he could pitch in the majors. And I feel like a team would take a shot at him if he's still throwing. And Bumble said he's throwing 99 miles per hour. I feel like he would help a lot of team. They were part of it. They were clearly not consensual. What videotape is consensual? Explain that to me. How many guys are banging women and videotaping, and the women thinks it's consensual? I would think they wouldn't be at all. But Trevor Bauer was making a lot of money. It was a douchebag, and now he's trying to be all contrite and everything, like, please forgive me. Well, dude, but he can throw 99 miles an hour, dude. 99 miles an hour. How many guys can do that? A lot of Yankees need some pitching. Mets need some pitching. You know what? He's contrite. He made mistakes. If he goes to every woman and says, hey, you know what? That was me. I was a fucking asshole. Because a lot of guys are fucking assholes. A lot of guys are pigs. Listen, a lot of guys. The Weinstein, scumbag for years. And now he's going to jail. And with him, it's not contrite anymore. He's a scumbag that's been doing it forever. But Bauer, now this comes out. I think he's got to get in front of it and say, hey, you know what? I was a dumb shit. I posted videos. The women didn't want it. I didn't know that I was posting it. I made mistakes. I'll donate to women's causes, whatever. I'll speak to groups. Right? Remember what Vic did after the dog shit? He was doing stuff with the Humane Society and all that stuff. A lot of people were upset about him getting back in the NFL. He got back, Rob. He got back. So why can't Trevor Bauer get back? They give guys second chances. If he shows contrition, if he shows he made mistakes, then that's what I think. I'm saying if he does, and he has. Well, yeah, he really hasn't said a lot. Now he's just talking like he's a pitcher all the time. Cano hit a home run yesterday. They played in Mexico. They didn't bring the whole team down. Cano says he still loves playing baseball, and he likes taking steroids. Maybe not anymore, but he loves playing baseball, and now he's playing down in Mexico, and good for him. But yeah, wow, I'm glad the Yankees didn't give him $240 million. Yeah, that was a total shit show. Then when the Mets, he missed almost 2 full seasons. Got suspended a whole season. Yeah, he loves playing baseball. Good for him. Good for him. That's what I say on that front. Good for him. Do what you have to do, buddy. Make it count. Yeah. And UConn is the highest, the best odds to win the championship. It's UConn, Houston, Purdue, Arizona, Tennessee, UNC, Marquette, and the list goes on and on. We'll see what happens on that front. Whatever. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I love that's the thing. The team that's favored so much, bad things usually happen. And UNC lacrosse was up 12-5 on High Point with 125 left in the third, and they lost 12-11. Can't lose to High Point, UNC. Tar Heels can't lose a game like that. Not good. Now, Yankee fans, how do you feel about the starting rotation right now? Nestor Cortez, Rodon, Stroman, Clark Schmidt, and Lucas. Is it Gill? Lucas Gill? That's your starting five. How do you feel about it, Yankee fans? I know I feel really, really comfortable about this staff. Yeah. Marcus Stroman had a strikeout. He did a little dance. If that motherfucker did that when I was up at bat, I would try to drill him with a pitch every time I went up there. At least once out of my, I don't like that shit. I don't like Stroman doing all this. It's not. This isn't a guy who's won like 25 games, 25, even 20 wins in a goddamn season, and he's acting like he's missed. He's like Bob fucking Gibson or Nolan Ryan. Can you imagine that? You know what Nolan Ryan did? Remember when what's his name came up to him? Yeah, but he had what, a 58 game hitting streak in college, came up, and Nolan Ryan beat the living shit out of him. Who was that guy? Oh man, I see his face, and he was a former Met. Yeah, Nolan Ryan wouldn't put up with that shit. I don't like Stroman does all this strutting shit that pisses me off. Who was the guy, the college baseball hitting streak? Oklahoma State. Yeah. Yeah, see, this stuff bothers me when I see the face. Hitting streak. Yes. Thank you, Saul. Robin Ventura. Remember we came out to Nolan Ryan? Boom, 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 boom. Bunch of uppercuts. Actually, Nolan Ryan was at the first NCAA game with his granddaughters to watch Caitlin Clark. I mean, I think that's pretty cool, man. I thought that was pretty cool. I like that a lot. Yes. Yeah, and UNC gets Alabama next. I'm a little nervous about that game. I am a little nervous about that. Oh, this is great. BJ Dunn is the head coach at, I think, Gettysburg now, right? Is it Gettysburg? He said daycare called around noon and said our little man wasn't feeling well. When I get there to pick him up, he looks at me and says, Dad, let's bust out of here and watch basketball. He's 3. This is the start of a beautiful annual 3 years old. Dad, I'm not feeling good. Dad, come on, let's go watch some basketball. That's a kid you love. That's the shit. That's awesome. And 50 years ago, blah 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 blah. Sunday, downtown Freddie Brown set the Sonics single game scoring record with 58 points against the Warriors. There was a Seattle Times coverage the next day and an ad inside the section for a future Sonics game. And next to it, how you used to have to watch heavyweight fights. Foreman Norden was on closed circuit. Do you remember that? Closed circuit. No home radio or TV, live on closed circuit TV. That's what it used to be, dude. Closed circuit. And this is hilarious. I forget who's. Oh, Felix sent me this one. This is great. The Sesame Street Muppet will become the first to experience homelessness. And then this guy, Henry, Dion gotta shut the fuck up. Oh, that's a nice one. Oscar the Grouch has been living in a trash can for 49 years. So, it makes you think. It makes you think. Oscar been homeless for 49 years. I mean, come on. And Ivy League controlled the SEC, said this one just means more when they beat Kentucky. This one just means more. Go fuck yourself, SEC. Yale got their asses kicked yesterday, too. So San Diego State, Sweet 16 against UConn, they met for the Natty last year, which I thought was, look at that piece of beef. And I know Rob says it looks always the same all the time because, dude, it's always the same. It's called perfection. Ate that whole motherfucker. Not one piece left. And Michigan had her filet left over, and JD finished the rest of that, too. I mean, look at that thing. That thing is glorious. It's fucking glorious. Saul, look at that thing. That is a piece of meat. That is a piece of meat. Oh, delicious. Delicious. You know what? If they would have put a second in front of me, I would have taken a shot at the title. I really would have. I would have been like, let's do it. Let's make this magic happen. It's magic time. It's magic. Yes, it is. Yes. Yeah, it's a sexy piece of meat. I agree with you. Yeah, so we have Arizona versus Clemson. That's on Thursday. Then UConn, San Diego State. Oh, that's the East. That's the early game. And then North Carolina, Alabama, Iowa State versus Illinois. That's Thursday. So I'm going to be up late Thursday night. Friday, Marquette versus NC State. That's the only double-digit 11 seed. Purdue versus Gonzaga. Houston versus Duke. Oh, please beat Duke. Please, please, please. And Tennessee versus Creighton. And did you see Jim Nantz was at the Houston game? Because he's not working for CBS anymore. Just a fan enjoying himself. That was awesome. Old 96er? Yes, that's the old 96er. Well, if he's all the grizzled, is he? That's a great movie. Great outdoors, folks. If you haven't seen it, watch it. And I know that Saul didn't watch that fucking thing about, I know that motherfucker did not watch the goddamn thing I told him about the movies that made us on Netflix about Die Hard. I know the motherfucker did not watch it yet. I told him for days to watch it. He said he would. The guy's doing nothing except watching freaking, Japanese porn on his goddamn computer. That he can watch for 7 hours straight, but he can't watch the documentary I asked him to watch. I know you, Saul. I know you didn't watch it yet. I know you didn't. I see you. And UTEP had 4 players foul out of an NCAA tournament game back in '87, back when Mr. Haskins was the head coach. Yeah, you're bad. You're bad. Don Haskins was head coach. They played at Arizona in a first-round game, 98-91. They lost. They won in overtime. They lost to Iowa in the number 2 Iowa in round 2. They were the 10 seed. And last night, Houston had 4 players foul out, and they still won the game. And back in, that was '87. So '87, UNLV went to the Final Four. They lost to Indiana. Syracuse lost to goddamn Indiana with Keith Smart hitting the game-winning shot. And who was the white kid? I always forget who was the white kid. Steve Alford. They lost to Steve Alford. I was so pissed. I was so rooting for Syracuse that year. It sucks. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Now, Chine Ogwu Chine Ogwum Ike. She talked about how I'll never forget after workout a few years ago, my trainer asked me to stay and meet this high schooler who we believe was next up at Stanford. She ended our workout with a dunk. It was Kiki Erie Offen. Well, Kiki went for 41 points, 16 rebounds, 4 assists last night. She played pretty goddamn well. Yeah, really well. Yeah, James Madison lost by, 40 last night? They got their asses kicked. Asses kicked. Yes. Yes, very much so. ACC sends 4 teams to the Sweet 16. How about that? Not bad. Yeah, Dan Hurley says that he wants, just keep blowing these teams out of this tournament, right? Keep smacking them. Dude, I hope it comes back and kicks him in the ass. Donovan Clingan yesterday against Northwestern, 14 rebounds, 14 points, 8 blocks. And DC Sports Buzz said that they should get a second lottery pick and pick him up. He'd be a rim protector. Really not a great shooter, more in size. Oh, no Japanese porn? So what's your thing, dude? What's your thing? And what are you watching? You're probably watching dog videos, aren't you? You're showing, hey, Skylar, let's watch this video together. Skylar, what do you think of the video? Oh. And I know you're talking to Skylar. You're watching dog videos. Watching little puppies run around barking and shit. I know what you're doing, dude. Yeah, I know. Yeah, West Virginia is bringing in Drake's Darian DeVries 5-year deal. Led Drake to the NCAA tournament 3 of the last 4 years. Oh, and I love this. So they were talking about the NCAA tournament. Erin Dolan, she's ESPN betting analyst. So Reese Davis, Northwestern to score under 60 points. Yes, they did. They lost 75-58 to UConn. He says, you know what? Some would call this wagering gambling. I think the way you've sold this, I think what it is a risk-free investment. Dolan briefly interrupted him and called it sweating, sensing that low number would have some gamblers worrying with every basket scored by Northwestern. Then afterwards, he said, I joked the advice was more like a risk-free investing. As we all know, such a thing does not exist. Obviously, there are risks. Though I'm not a gambler, I strongly encourage those who do to gamble wisely. Douchebag. Risk-free investment. Dude, if it was that easy, everybody would be winning, right? Reese Davis. And, he said I was being sarcastic. I was joking. But you can't say anything anymore, right? It was kind of like, yesterday what I said. We can't use the R. We can't say retard. We can't say retard. You can't go full retard. You went full retard. That's why you went full retard. You can't do that. People get upset. Can't say anything anymore. You can't joke about anything anymore. Can't make jokes. You got to be PC. You're not PC. Hey, that's the problem now. We're very, very sensitive. Sensitive. Yeah. Yes. Oh, yeah. And I thought it was LT's birthday. It was not LT's birthday. His birthday's in February. I don't know what the fuck that was. Someone said it was happy birthday, LT. And it wasn't. Yeah, but yeah, LT was great. Yes. Baylor first Sweet 16 since 2021. Post Kim Mulkey. Yeah, that you saw. So Liz Kitley was out for Vatech. She was crying. Yeah, hey, you got to play the players that are there right now. That's what you can do. I saw this from on the site. Stephen Bondi Jalen Brunson could become the first net guard to make All-NBA since Clyde Frazier did it in 1979, 49 years ago, which is crazy. And DiVincenzo needs 18 trays from tying Evan Fournier in 2022. He was signed as a backup, hitting just 47 trays in his first 22 games, averaging 8.6 points per game. Now, starting December 30th, when they got rid of RJ and quickly to Toronto, he's been averaging almost 4 trays per game and elevated his season total to #1 in the Eastern Conference. He's only eclipsed by Curry and Luka Doncic, both in the West. If he plays the remaining 12 games, he needs to average 1.5, almost 2 a game. Set the record. Yeah. He's averaging almost 40% a game. 223 is second on the list. He just passed Julius Randle last year and Starks 217 in 1995. Dude, guy's amazing. I love it. I hope he breaks. And they're playing Detroit tonight, where Fournier is now on. And he said Dante's a heck of a shooter. I'm pretty confident we'll break it. Oh, yeah, he's breaking it. He's breaking it for sure. And the Nets are a 6.5-point favorite in Toronto. And someone who's like, why? Toronto's lost 10 in a row. So the Nets are 26-45. Toronto's 23-48. How about the Laker game last night, which I didn't even know was going on? You know, we talked about the Pacers and everything. Lakers beat them 150-145. And 150-145. That's the most points by a Lakers team since 86-87. Third highest scoring game of the season. 150-145. Regulation, right? That was a regulation game. Talk about it. Defense. No defense, man. It's scorers are us. And AD at 36-13. You had Dinwiddie and LeBron at 26, Reeves at 25, Siakam at 36 points, 12 rebounds. But Jesus Christ, man, that was an OT. That was a 48-minute game, 151. I mean, Jesus Christ. And they play the Pistons. Yeah, 4 quarters. So Indiana scored 36, 32, 31, 46 in the fourth. And the Lakers scored 30 in the first, 42 in the second, 44 in the third, and got outscored by 12 in the fourth. And they almost came back. So Pacers are 40-32, Lakers are 39-32, which is crazy. Warriors lost to Minnesota. Rockets are now a game back. They've won 8 straight. They play Portland tonight. They're 9-1 the last 10. And Amen Thompson, during the 8-game winning streak, is averaging 15, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal, a block. True shooting 69%, plus 95 was on the court, and he plays elite D. Elite D. So yesterday, Curry sat out the last 11 minutes of the game. They lost 114-110 to Minnesota. He was subbed out 4 minutes left in the third. Didn't re-enter until just 6 minutes left in the fourth. So he sat out 11 straight minutes. I'm sorry. I thought it was all the fourth. Ended up just playing 30 minutes. And Steve Kerr said he isn't willing to blame the most recent loss on Curry's minutes. He said we can't expect him game after game after game. You know he can't. He said he's been putting the franchise on his shoulders for 15 years. We can't expect him to play 35 minutes. I mean, you just can't keep which I agree with. Which gets me nervous about Tibbs. Tibbs just plays these guys every fucking night. And I know Brunson's younger, but I feel like sometimes he plays the guys too many goddamn minutes. And listen, they were hoping to be a top 6 seeds. Now they're trying to hold on to even stay in the goddamn playoffs. They're losing a lot of games. They're not playing great basketball. They're 36-34. The Wolves improved to 49-22. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a run to the finish with these two teams. We're gonna see what happens. And DJ LeMahieu is definitely out for they hope he'll be back for the home opener. But according to Brian Cashman, he has some bone inflammation. Thank you, James, for this one. I thought he was back for opening day. Home opener. In addition to a bone bruise, and then he'll get another MRI later in the week. His IL stint can be backdated and didn't rule him out for the home opener. Garrett, he's not coming back home opener. I say let him get healthy. Why are you rushing him back? If he misses 20 games, who gives a shit? 30 games, who gives a shit? I'd rather him have him for the last $130 than have him come back too soon and then he keeps getting injured. Like OG, sit out. Let him sit out the next fucking 12 games for all I care. Who cares what seed they get? I don't care if there are 4, 5, 6. If everybody comes back healthy, they could go on a run. Look what the Heat did last year. It doesn't matter. Seeding doesn't mean shit to me. If they get everybody healthy, they're a very good team, and it doesn't matter if they have home court advantage or if they don't. Because if they're healthy, they're healthy. But the rush guys back, I don't ever like guy. DJ, you take as much time as you need, dude. You take all the time in the world. Yeah, and I saw this from MIB elites. Pudge Rodriguez was called up to the big leagues on his wedding day. So him and his wife got married on his Double-A field, and then he flew to Chicago. He threw out 2 runners on his debut, which I thought was awesome. So next year, the Dodgers and Cubs will play in Japan because, I mean, Ohtani is the greatest, when he's not gambling, he does everything so well. He's such a wonderful person. Bill fucking Murray. Oh, you got the picture? Are you in that picture? Yes, you are. Nice picture. Look at that. That's you in the background, right? Dude, you look good. You have a lot more hair in that picture. It's a good picture. It's a good picture, man. Look at that picture. You sexy bastard. You sexy freaking bastard. Look how happy Bill Murray looks good in that picture, dude. It's a good picture. Nice going. Thanks for sharing. Hey, it's a nice picture there, Saul. Ohio State beat Wisconsin in the women's Frozen Four. They had lost to Wisconsin in last season's Frozen Four final and lost to them in the season's WCHA final face-off. So they won their championship 2023, They won in 22, lost in 23, won in 24. They fell to the only team to win since 2019, Wisconsin. The third largest crowd in New Hampshire's Whitmore Center Arena. They had 4,378 fans. That's the third most. I was like, really? Okay. Yeah. They won a program record 36 games. Third straight year, they won over 30 games. Also, the 6th 20-win season in Mozzarell's 8 years in Columbus. Before she arrived, they surpassed 20 wins once in 17 years. She's done it 6 and 8 years since she's been there. Impressive. Oh, yeah. And what is he? Joe Douglas hinted he's open to taking a quarterback at number 10 overall. Also raved the Jets visit with Jadeveon Clowney, who I think he went to visit with the Panthers too. Is that Panthers? Yeah, Panthers, I think. Why would he go to the Panthers over the Jets? And they don't expect wide receiver Mike Williams, ACL, to be fully ready for a start of camp, with team being cautious about his recovery. Take all the time you want. And Robert Saleh. This is great for all the Jets fans. We got to win football games. There are a lot of things I can do differently with regards to messaging. A lot of things will change. Do you think we're all fucking idiots? Do you think we're all fucking morons? Do you think we're all retarded? Do you really think we're all retarded? I mean, honestly, do you think we're all fucking stupid dipshits? Do you think we're all dumb motherfuckers? I'm taking that with a fucking grain of salt, and I'm throwing it away. I mean, just bend us over and fuck us all. Because that's what I feel like. When you talk that way to fans, Jet fans, 13 years, no playoffs, and you talk that way, and all of a sudden now you're going to change on the dot. Now I'm changing. Now I'm going to be the coach I should be. Dude, you've had your chances. You didn't do shit. You basically folded up last year and cried in the corner after Aaron Rodgers got injured after 4 fucking plays. You threw away the season. So I don't want to hear this bullshit, all this. I'm tired of the talk. It's tiresome. It's disgusting. Enough. Ridiculous. But Williams, plus 421 receiving yards, over expected, third most from 2018 to 2022, 15.8 yards per catch since 2018, most in the NFL, 1 drop in his last 23 games. That's some good stuff. Garrett Wilson, 1,000 yards back-to-back years, 2022 Rookie of the Year, 178 catches, first 2 years, 11th among NFL wide receivers. This is funny. I saw this on the chat too. Jameis Winston. I think my cousin Al sent me this too. Jameis Winston said, everyone will judge me for one season 5 years ago. That was before I got LASIK. I couldn't see in Tampa. I thought Bruce was black until 2019. And Bruce Arians said, explains a lot. I always thought you were just being polite when you introduced me like that to your friends. I mean, come on, dude. Jameis. I don't think he really improved that much since then. Now you're going to go to Cleveland, which you'll probably start because Deshaun Watson sucks. And, he's probably got the itch to go to the clubs. The Brooklyn Nets reportedly turned down a trade offer from the Houston Rockets that included Jalen Green and multiple first-round picks. Is that just now? Is that just now? Rob, is that just right this second? Really? Because if that's true, that cray-cray. Jalen Green. Really? Oh, Antonio Pierce feels that J.J. McCarthy is an elite quarterback prospect. Yeah. Oh, before then. Okay. John Mara sick over Saquon. Hated seeing him go to the Eagles. LeBron is ignoring the standings. He says. Focused on the playoffs. Ignoring him. LeBron, you're the best. Ignoring standard. Focus on each game at a time. Fight for playoff position. Focused. That's what you got to be. Focused. They think that Washington will draft J.J. McCarthy at number 2. Wemby is out tonight with a sprained left ankle. As I said, Kerr defends Steph Smith. Talked about that. Jets won't cut. Jesus Christ. Oh. 49ers wide receiver post after John Lynch shuts down trade rumors. Cryptic. It's cryptic. Yeah, he has money, a guy talking, horse shit, and a guy walking. Okay. All right. All right. Good luck with that. That's what I say. Good luck with that shit. Good luck. That's good. Yeah, Caleb Williams says, Brian posted about Caleb Williams. Yeah, stop it. Exactly, stop it. Kind of like, we just got to win Robert Saleh. Or we're keeping Zach Wilson. Just stop. He says when you talk to teammates about Caleb Williams, they don't like him. They love him. I don't like him. I don't just like White Castle burgers. I love them. Do you like them? No, I love them. Saul, what do you like? I like moon-filled nights on the ocean. I like looking out at the water, smelling that seawater. Just loving life, looking up at the stars and thinking, one of those stars is me. And I make a wish. I don't tell anybody what the wish is, but I make it. And then I just stand there and say, I'm lucky. I'm a lucky man. I'm just a lucky, lucky man. See, sometimes when you stop doing drugs and then, years later you have kind of like a relapse or just kind of, that was my moment right there. It just had a little bit of a relapse. And I go off on a tangent that makes no sense to anybody, let alone myself. And so Jerry Jones had a writing pad, and you could read it, and it said, I think there are a handful or more of quarterbacks playing who haven't won a Super Bowl that will win a Super Bowl. I think Dak is one of them. I'm firm there. He's one of the ones who can. And I said on the chat that, yes, he will win a Super Bowl one day. And when he's backing up Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City, and he comes in, the game during the year, at the end, to take a couple snaps at the end, he will get that ring. Like Bernie Kosar won a ring with the Cowboys. There will be guys who will win rings with other teams. And yes, one day he will win a Super Bowl. He will not be the starting quarterback, but yes, one day he will win a Super Bowl when he's backing up somebody. Yeah, and I don't know about Aiden O'Connell. Kev, I got to be honest with you, man. Him being the guy, he's earned that right. Whatever happens and whatever we do, it has to go through Aiden O'Connell. Yeah. Through like one preseason game, and then that'll be over for that. And Jed York is going to be the new principal owner, after buying some of his mother's shares. I like when they say buying. Mommy, I want to buy your shares. And they threw out Eddie DeBartolo, who was really the owner. So the sister took over. Now her son Jed, who's never worked a day in his life, is the principal owner. So good for him. And OBJ was financial more than anything else. Yeah, goodbye. I don't care. No, come on, enough. And Commanders running back Austin Eckler is the only running back in the league with 30 rushing touchdowns and 30 receiving touchdowns since 2017. Washington Commanders, good luck with that. NFL draft, Patriots pursue top-tier wide receivers. Who's throwing the ball to Justin Jefferson and T. Higgins? Who isn't it Jacoby Brissett? Who's the Patriots quarterback right now? Where's Jacoby Brissett? Right? Isn't that who they got? Jacoby Brissett is with the. Yep. So that's who's throwing the ball to them. T. Higgins and Justin Jefferson. 2 names to watch. Sure, that's where they want to go. Harbaugh said the best workout I've ever seen a quarterback during a pro day. The best throwing I've ever seen. To hear coaches and GMs come to me with great job with JJ. Like I predicted, it was absolutely no surprise. That's Harbaugh on JJ. Broncos met with JJ McCarthy 4 to 5 hours. They could trade up. We're going to see what happens there. See what the Bears do. Yeah. Now, someone said this is bullshit, but supposedly Kim Kardashian wants dating OBJ and frozen eggs. She wants to maybe talk about having a kid with OBJ if it's worth his way financially. And it made me think, if I was Brady could just put his sperm everywhere and there could be Brady's all over the place. And then we could have, I would think if I was Woody Johnson, I would go to every quarterback. He's a billionaire, a multi-billionaire. I'd go to Brady. I'd go to all the great quarterbacks out there, and all the, even the old pro. Get all the sperm you can, mix it all together, get all the great quarterbacks, put it in one big, jar, and someone will definitely carry. You got a surrogate. It would definitely carry the kid, and you start planning for the future. I mean, it's going to be a while till it comes to fruition, but start like your own little football pool kind of thing. Your pod, and you start all this stuff, and you go, I mean, it's something I was thinking about. Brady, Aikman, Favre. Well, Favre's a little kooky looky, but all the great quarterbacks, Marino, all of them. Go after all the guys. Go after Breeze. I don't know if Breeze is kind of religious. I don't know if he would actually do it. Brady probably would. I'd stay away from Deshaun Watson. Let me think other great. Well, the Jets have no great quarterbacks. Phil Simms, I'd put maybe Phil Simms. Be interested. I mean, I think they take it as an honor. You get these great quarterbacks, you mix it all together. Like in Twins, you got the good stuff, you got the shit. You get the good stuff. So I was thinking about that. That's what I was thinking, that they could go that far, but I don't think it'll happen. But I thought about it. And the CONCACAF final, U.S. beat Mexico, and 2-0. Congrats to them. Gio Reyna scored. Oh, and so Zoo is going to fight. Tim Zoo is going to fight this guy Fundora. If he gets past Fundora this Saturday night, Sebastian Fundora, he's going to fight against Bud Crawford. And I would like to see Tim Zoo fight against Crawford. That would be a good fight. Yeah. It will be for Zoo's WBC and WBO super welterweight world titles if he beats Fundora. I would like to see that fight. I think that'd be cool. Now, this was kind of interesting. So, I haven't done this in a while, but I found this cool story. British runner has made history by becoming the first woman to finish one of the world's hardest ultramarathons. Jasmine Paris from Midlothian completed the Barkley Marathons in Tennessee with just 1 minute and 39 seconds to spare of the 60-hour cutoff. She was overjoyed and had a strong feeling during training that she could compete. She was so exhausted, she slumped to the ground after finishing, the race was inspired by a famous prison escape. The course at Frozen Head State Park changes every year but covers 100 miles involving 60,000 feet of climb and descent, about twice the height of Mount Everest. Only 20 people ever made it to the end of the race with the allotted 60 hours since it was extended to 100 miles in 1989. She had to navigate through extreme and often pathless terrain, continuing to run through the night. They show the pictures after the race showed her legs scratched from pushing through sharp bushes and scrub in dense forest on steep slopes. She lost her voice from heavy breathing during the race. I think how heavy she was breathing. She was able to speak, but told BBC Breakfast by text message she was overjoyed to have completed it. She said, "It still hasn't really sunk in that I finally done it. This year I had a strong feeling the months of training." Where the fuck was she training? And run up to the race that I could do it. Yeah, I mean, the course changes every year, but is roughly 5 loops of 20 miles with only 35 participants allowed each year. It was the brainchild of Gary Lazarus Lake Cantrell and Carl Henn. So the idea came because of the 1977 escape of James Earl Ray, the assassin of MLK Jr. from nearby Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary. So Ray covered only about 12 miles, 19 kilometers, after running more than 50 hours in the woods, hiding from air searches during the day. Mr. Cantrell is reported to have mocked the distance covered by Ray, saying, "I could do at least 100 miles." So prospective runners must write a "Why should I be allowed to run in the Barkley" essay, along with a $1.60 entrance fee, and if successful, get a letter of condolence. Racers are required to bring an additional fee, which in the past has included things such as a white shirt, socks, or a car registration plate as a donation for being a non-finisher. And they must find between 9 and 14 books along the course, which varies every year, before removing the page corresponding to the race number from each book as proof of completion. Oh my God. So he waits at the Yellow Gate, made iconic by the 2014 documentary Barkley Marathons, The Race That Eats Its Young. I got to find this documentary. I got to watch this thing. The race starts at any time from midnight to noon on race day, with 1 hour till race start, signaled by blowing a conch. The race officially begins when the race director lights a cigarette. The course is unmarked, and competitors must memorize the route beforehand. The first and third loops are run clockwise, while the second and fourth are run anti-clockwise. The first finisher of the fourth loop gets to decide which direction they go on the last loop. Unbelievable. Jesus Christ. Holy shit. That's crazy. The name of the doc is, we got to watch this doc. It's called The Race That Eats Its Young. Wow. So Sue Johnson did 66 miles in 2001 when more than 30 competitors failed to reach the first book, 2 miles. Wow. Wow. In January 2019, mother of two Jasmine expressed milk for her baby during a 268-mile race along the Pennon Way to break the course record by more than 12 hours. She completed the Montaigne Spine Race from Derbyshire to the Scottish borders in 83 hours, 12 minutes, and 23 seconds. Her previous sponsor, Innovate, said her achievement was one of the greatest stories in the sport. She has since co-founded the Green Runners. Thank you, Angie Brown. I saw that. I was like, holy shit. Can you imagine running a race like that where you can't even see where you're going? And also the peaks and valleys of a race. 160 hours. So you got to eat your shit and whatever, running and going nonstop. She passed out. She couldn't talk because she was breathing so heavy. Dude, they wouldn't find me forever. I would die in the middle. And Michigan's niece did some race in Moab, Utah, where she'd have run like 30 miles or something. And a buddy of mine who worked on my movie Money, he did a 3-day race for like 35 miles where he'd go through all this terrain out in Utah. Dude, that's some serious shit, man. That is some serious, serious shit. I was like, wow, dude. Yeah. Yeah, crazy, right? All that stuff blows my mind. Yeah. Yeah, that's... Oh, and I saw this. Now, I don't know if this is 100% true, but Kylie Jenner reportedly reached out to UNC guard Paxton Wojcik after he did a photo shoot for Skims, which is owned by her sister Kim. So did he hook up with her? And that's bad juju, man. I don't want her. I don't want any of the Kardashians or Jenners around my UNC players. Yeah, I was like, no. And James Jones at Yale, he took over a Yale team that hadn't been to the NCAA tournament since the 60s. He's now led the Bulldogs to March Madness 4 times in the past 8 years. And he built this program brick by brick. And with Princeton winning 2 games last year and Yale winning this year, first time 2 different Ivy League schools have won tournament games in back-to-back since 1967 Princeton and 1968 Columbia. Yeah, pretty crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, and Bama scored 100-plus points 10 times this year, the most 100-point games by a high major since the 2001-2002 Kansas, and UNC gets them next, which makes me very nervous. And LSU's Michaela Williams has officially signed an NIL deal with Jordan Brand. The SEC Freshman of the Year became the latest to join the Jumpman. That's all. I love that stuff. I love that. Yeah, I think that's great. How about this? Oakland coach Greg Campy said the school sold $8,000 worth of T-shirts to people whose credit cards match Louisville zip codes. He said, I don't know if when Louisville and UK play next year, but the Louisville people are going to show up in Oakland shirts. Definitely. I think that's hilarious. That is hilarious. Yeah. And Milton sent me this. There's a kid on Rhode Island, always right, a guard, and his brother is named All Right. So he's always right, and his brother's name is All Right, which I thought was great. Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, great. Audie Crooks, did you see that freshman at Iowa State? Someone told me she was a 2-time shot put champion in high school, state champ. She had 40 points in the win over Friday over Maryland. She is a beast. James Madison, that was their first win in 41 years. They got Duke next. And one of the kids on the team is Bickerstaff. Forward TJ Bickerstaff is a 6'9" graduate student from he played at BC. Yeah. He came over from BC. His grandfather is Bernie Bickerstaff, won 419 games in the pros. His uncle JB is the coach of the Cavs. And his dad, Tim Bickerstaff, played and coached football at North Carolina Central University. And his mom is an actress in movies I never heard of. Yeah, he played at Boston College before transferring to James Madison. I love this, what Dawn Staley says. There's 2 types of athletes. They're the ones that they might be really, really great basketball players, but they don't want to go where there's 7, 8, 9 great, really great basketball players, and they're the ones who want to go to South Carolina, and that I like. I love that shit. I love that shit, and she's phenomenal. She's awesome. Yeah, Fred Hoiberg going to the NCAA tournament, got a $1 million annual raise. Freaking listen, Kevin Keats got his team into the Sweet 16. He got $100,000 for the ACC tournament. Talked about this already. $100,000 ACC tournament title, $400,000 raise, 2-year extension through 2030, $25,000 for beating Texas, $50,000 for beating Oakland. 7 games last 12 days. He has made himself a lot of money. And the men's and women's bracket, very good ratings. Women's was the highest in 20 years, almost 2 million. Men almost 6 million. Yeah, it's and Grambling State winning their first 4 game. The SWAC will get $2 million over the next several years for their win. Love it. Love that stuff. Yeah, love it. Talked about the Knicks, WNBA All-Star Weekend ahead of the Olympics. Team USA, WNBA will take on Team USA at 2024 All-Star Weekend ahead of the Olympics. I like that a lot. Celtics, crazy. 15 wins by 25 or more points this season, which ties the 70, 71, and 71-72 Bucks, the 2015-16 Spurs. So the 71 Bucks won the title. 72 Bucks lost the Western Conference Finals in 6 to the Lakers. And the 2015-16 Spurs lost in the semifinals to OKC. And now Miles Turner is the Rim Reaper, is the all-time block leader for the Pacers. He passed Jermaine O'Neal, 1,246 block on Friday against the Warriors. The Warriors. Now, I think Rob showed me this, the picture of Brandon Ingram getting hurt. He has a bone contusion in his left knee. So if he's injured and he's played a majority, you have to play 65 games. But if you've played a majority of the games that you've played, you're eligible for All NBA, which could mean a max contract. And his contract is what year is he in right now? He's in the 4th year of a 5-year, $158.3 million. So he can get a new extension, which would be 4 years, roughly $221 million. And the money just keeps coming. Crazy. So we already have the Spurs, Wiz, Pistons, Trailblazers, Grizzlies, and Nuggets all eliminated from the playoffs. Denver has a 5-game homestand. This was as Friday. They only leave the state of Colorado twice from now through April 12th in the final 2 games of the season. They're the first team in the Western Conference to 50 wins for the 2nd straight season. They are 14-2 since the All-Star break. And Russell Westbrook might be back tonight, which would be great for them, against the Pacers. Did you see this, Wemby? Bol went against him, and I guess he got a foul called. He said, come on now. Where? Y'all are dick riding bros. I get it to the refs, because he gets all the calls. He said, I get it. So they said that was vulgar. You're all kissing his ass, basically. Yeah. All right. Well, hey, people say what they're going to say, right? I mean, hey, it's out there. Yeah. And you know what they said? This is interesting. So Marcel Ozuna headed into May 0.085 batting average. 5 for 19, 2 home runs, 194 on base percentage, 203 slugging. End of the season, 275, 40 home runs, 345 on base, 562 slugging. So you can't take the first month. You got to give him time. And Charlie Culberson was trying to become a pitcher at age 34. He was released, an infield and left fielder, 586 career games. Try to be a pitcher. Maybe somebody else will pick him up. Jackson Holiday is going to start down in the minors. I really think he could be up there, but they're not. An outfield prospect, Heston Jerstad, has been optioned AAA. They have a lot of guys. Now, people saying they're not going to be as good this year, but I think they're going to be pretty goddamn good. And Holiday should be up in like a month because he struck out a lot, a lot of strikeouts, but he's a 5-tool guy. Yeah, I just think he's going to be up kind of soon. Yeah. Holiday's good. Troy Tulowitzki. He's going to be a guy and they have the top-rated farm system going into the season. I mean, that team's going to be good. And Wyatt Langford, the number 1 prospect, number 4 pick in the 2023 draft, made the team out of the roster out of camp. Yeah, so that's and all these young guys, man. He started Florida, was in the Arizona Rookie League July 28th, but September 4th, he reached AAA. Jesus. Yeah. So he's going to be playing number 6 prospect. 70 runner on a scale of 20 to 80. Fast enough to play center, but played left at Florida. And they just won the championship. Jesus Christ. And think about this. So they bring him up. He could be AL Rookie of the Year with Carter, his teammate in the outfield, 306, 5 home runs, 62 September at bats, and then hit 300 in the postseason. So, I mean, we're going to see what happens on that front. Yeah. Yeah. Johnny Manziel, the Arena Football League, reached out to him about playing this coming season. He's only 31. I don't know. Maybe. Oh, and I saw this. This was great. This is from the Cowboys. From back in 79, the funeral wreath was sent to the Cowboys locker room before a Redskins-Cowboys game in 79. After they won 35-34, I remember that game. I remember that Tony Hill, I think, had the winning touchdown catch. I remember that game like it was yesterday. He brought the wreath back to the Redskins locker room. And Aaron Donald said he played between 255 and 260. His whole career between 258 and 265. Says he just lost didn't have that hunger to play anymore. Maybe he'll take a year off and he'll come back. Niners haven't drafted a Michigan player in the first round since James Pace in 1958. Kind of crazy, right? And they're saying that one of the guys that should be that team should be looking at, offensive lineman Carson Barnhart from Michigan. He met with the Rams and Ravens, and he ran an outstanding 1.75 10-yard split at the NFL Combine. 31 career starts at right tackle, left guard, right guard. That's a swing guy. That's a guy you want in your team. L'Jarius Sneed got 4 years, $55 million guaranteed. And Peacock said they added 3 million new subscribers because of the playoff game. Good for them. And Will Greer is now a Eagle. Geno Smith is the starter for the Seahawks. Austin Johnson signed a 1-year deal with Buffalo, where he's going to play alongside a former high school teammate, DaQuan Jones. So Austin Johnson was a track guy who got into football, didn't really like it, and then a couple of years and really liked it. Went to Penn State, followed DaQuan Jones to Penn State, and he was a former Charger. And the thing is, his wife played and coached football. His wife, Danica, played in the Legends Football League, later became a head coach, played for the Seattle Mist and Las Vegas Sin in the Legends Football League. She was after a playing career as a middle linebacker and tight end, she went on to become the head coach of the Nashville Knights, making her the first ever female head coach of the Legends Football League. She was a Hall of Fame inductee in 2019. Jesus, all right. Okay. Crazy, right? Yeah. And Georgia got the 2026 number 1 overall player, Jared Curtis, the quarterback. 2026. That means he's going into his junior year. He's a sophomore in high school. And Trevor Etienne, Travis's brother, DUI, reckless dude, man. Why can't you get someone to drive for you? Why? And Adidas is lost their foothold, 77-year partnership with Germany's national teams. It's now going to be Nike, which is kind of crazy. And Carlos Sainz won in Australia. He got a emergency appendectomy 2 weeks ago. That's pretty crazy, right? And the Olympics is Scott Hansen, who does Red Zone. They're going to have a Red Zone style show for the Paris Olympics. We'll host Gold Zone. Whip around coverage to the best and most exciting live moments. And 3-time world champion Japan's Kori Sakamoto is the first woman to win 3 consecutive world titles since American Peggy Fleming, 1966-68. Yeah. A lot of stuff there, huh? This ain't the railroad. Holy shit. What isn't the railroad? What did I miss? Did I miss anything? No. Did I? No? TB12, I can get some free shit, huh? I'm so excited to get some stuff from Tom Brady. Yes. Did I miss anything else? Rockets, only 1 game behind. Oh, to make the playoffs. Playoffs? Does anybody want to be tailgate? Tailgate. For what's this for? NFL front offices, coaches are so dishonest. It's actually comforting knowing that you can always count on them to be liars all the time versus the other sports. So I agree with that. They'll draft him with the 2nd overall pick. So they're going to go J.J. McCarthy with the 2nd overall pick. Oh, and supposedly they have the green light to draft a quarterback. If they fall in love with the quarterback and believe it's worth pick number 6 or moving up, I would certainly support that. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Gonna keep him, dude. I got nothing to say in that front. I read that and it makes me sick to my stomach. Zach Wilson needs to go, dude. He needs to go. GOODCILL, my landlord. Kill my landlord. Yeah. Dion says okay, talked about that. Ayuk is not available for trade. Good for them. Want to see if I missed anything else because you guys are the best. Everybody's kind of quiet now. They're working, making that money. Told you the name of the doc. Wonderful. Okay, what else did I miss? Yeah, Zach Hyman, 50 goals, dude. Who is Otani's new interpreter? Yes Network had discussion with Buck Showalter. All right. MetLife Stadium to put in grass field for 2026 World Cup. Why can't they have a grass field for the football team? Why? So he's got a new interpreter. Will Ayrton, a longstanding member of the organization who previously interpreted for pitcher Kenta Maida. Yeah. He'll work with him for the immediate future. And he'll place bets for him too if he needs those done. All right. I got nothing else. I even went through stuff I didn't go through with the guys yesterday with Tommy and Saul. That's how thorough I was today. Okay. Yesterday's trivia question was, what was yesterday's trivia question? Which they got right. Yesterday's trivia question was most career overtime goals for the Rangers. And they got that correct. Anybody wants to try to guess, feel free. Today's trivia question. What did Montez Sweat do this past season that no NFL player had ever done before? Montez Sweat did something this past NFL season that no NFL player had ever done before. Does anybody know? Montez Sweat. Anybody know? Anybody? I thought Ryan was coming on. I thought Saul was coming on. I think he was too afraid. The offer was there, but he didn't come on. All right. So that's the question for today. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Saul. Thank you, Kev. Thank you all. Thank you, Bumbles, today. Thank you all for being here today. We'll try to get the trivia question tomorrow. I think Michigan's going out, so I'm going to be able to do a later show Tuesday and Wednesday maybe. So maybe we'll get someone on with me. And yeah, some women's basketball tonight. Knicks tonight. Let's get it done. What did you miss? The trivia question. Were you away? Oh, you were watching your hentai? Is that what you're watching, your hentai? Or the manga? What's it called? Manga? Always a blast. Nobody got the trivia question? Montez Swift. You didn't request. No, you didn't. Oh, I didn't even see it. It usually pops up, dude. All right. I didn't see it. Dude, it lights up when you request. Another day. All right, guys. Have a great day. Peace out. I'll talk